Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Savithri Kanuri and the topic of today's video is the Master of Biotechnology program at the University of Toronto, Mississauga, also called the MBiotech program. The reason I'm making this video is I've noticed around the time when I was applying, there wasn't much information detailing exactly what the program was going, aside from the regular university website. So I wanted to share my own thoughts and create a place where aspiring MBiotech applicants or even undergraduate students who are looking to decide what their future career plans might be can have a place where they can decide if it's truly worth it for them or not. There's only one other video on YouTube about this, and this was by Ramis Nazir, I believe, and he made a great video, but it's 5 to 6 years old, I think. So it's a little bit outdated in terms of exactly what the program is doing now. So I wanted to make something that is more up to date and shows that this program is constantly evolving. The courses we're taking this year were not the same as the ones that students took last year. Anyways, on that note, let's get right into it. Today I'm going to be talking about a couple of things: the program structure, the admission requirements, the internships, the courses, and then overall my final thoughts. So let's get started on the program structure. MBiotech is basically the love child between science and business together. What it is it literally combines multiple departments. We have the biology department, the chemistry department, and the management department. So its goal is to train you to go into the industry, specifically the pharma industry, and take on more leadership, managerial roles that are involved still in the realm of science. Now, it's a 2-year program, but one of those years is an internship, a co-op. And how it's structured is starting from May, which is pretty unique because most programs start in September, May to December of this year. So I'm in first year. So from May to currently December, it's only courses. Then January to next December, 1 year, it is the internship that you get placed in, which I'll talk more about later. After that, you have one last semester from January to May again, where you continue to do courses, or if you get retained from your internship into a full-time job by the company, then you will continue to do the internship at the job at the same time. Now, overall, there's a huge mix of learning and education in this program. As I mentioned, it's a combination of science and business. So we have a lot of variety of courses. We do molecular biology, we do biopartnering, which is on like market access, so that's more the businessy side. And even right now I'm learning about agriculture, we're learning about clinical trials, and even doing an accounting course to learn about the financial management of companies. Now let's get into the admission requirements. What do I need to do to get into this program? So there's a couple components to the admission requirements. One thing, so I forgot to mention something earlier in the program structure. There's 2 streams in the MBiotech program. There's the biopharma stream and the digital health technology stream. Now the biopharma stream, this is the one I'm in, is very different from the digital health technology stream, as the digital health stream looks to incorporate more coding into their curriculum. It trains a lot more in the data analysis side of the industry. So if you think that's the right fit for you, then by all means go for it. And of course, a lot of this doesn't mean you're just tunnel visioned into one role. Just because you're doing the digital health stream doesn't mean your future job is going to be one that involves excessive coding. I don't know. They give you all these opportunities, create a foundation, so that once they put you into the industry because of the internship, you're free to go wherever you want. And it's all based on your ability to grow. So anyways, let's get started in what it takes to get into this program. So there's a few things. I'm going to talk about domestic applicants first. So first thing is that you need an undergraduate degree. You need a 4-year bachelor's degree, or 4 years worth. So first thing to get started is that you need a bachelor's degree from a recognized university in any biological science, chemistry, engineering, or related field. And the minimum average to apply, so they're only going to check your last 2 years, and the minimum average of your last 2 years has to be a 73 to 76 or a 3.0 GPA in the final 2 years of study. Now, that's what it says on the website. However, I'm going to give you some insights that you won't find online. Because this is such a competitive program, in reality, the cutoff ends up around the 83 to 84 range. So after that is when they really look at your application. So that's the GPA you should aim at. And this is a competitive program, so there are some statistics that doesn't mean that you need this to get in. However, this is just how the situation was at the time. So my class had an admission average of 90% for the biopharma stream. Now, this doesn't mean you need a 90% to get in. However, because of the program's competitive nature, people just tended to have a higher GPA in the last 2 years. Remember, GPA isn't everything, though, because there are other components to this application, which I'm getting to. So first was the GPA requirement and the bachelor's degree. Then what you need is the letter of intent. So this is a cover letter, and it's around a page to a page and a half. And here is where you really get to talk about who you are as a person. You get to introduce yourself, you get to talk about your experiences, your background. You really want to tell your story on why MBiotech should take you. You want to talk about your scientific background, any research or lab work. By the way, research or lab is not necessary to get into this program. However, a good experience list is necessary. You want to show that you have the qualities of the correct applicant, which is one that has the necessary soft skills to succeed in this professional industrial environment. So you want to talk about all your experiences, and you want to showcase your business and practical work experience that you have, maybe like courses or internships that you've done before. And then finally, so that has been your past and present, you want to talk about the future. You really want to show how this program can help make the next step in your career and what you want. And don't worry, I'm going to probably make a separate video on the exact success package needed in your letter of intent, or at least what worked for me. This is not like a guarantee work for everyone, but I can tell you some tips and tricks that might help your application stand out. So that was the second component, and then we have your resume or CV. So you could put either or. A resume is just a shorter document that's more concise and shares all your experiences, are the most relevant ones. And then a CV is much more broad. This one shares all your research, all your extracurriculars, everything. And you can choose whichever one you want to do. And again, I can give you more tips and tricks on how to structure those. Then we have your reference letters. So MBiotech asks for 3 references. And they have a sort of order of preference, as you can see right here. They want to look for references from professors who might be involved in your research, or maybe professors that are can speak to your academic ability in your last 2 years. But they also accept a variety of others, like teaching assistants, employers from your job. Those are also seen with high priority, and even others from like managers from your volunteering experiences. I can tell you about my references in a separate video. And again, there's a certain strategic way you can structure this, which I'll get into in another video. And then last but not least, there's the application fee of 125 Canadian dollars. And once you do all this, you apply, and hopefully with a great application, you'll get an interview. And again, interview, it's a whole other structure. Before, so as I was saying, 5 years ago, there used to be 2 interviews, but now there's only 1 combined. And I will share you the methods and ways to prepare for that in another video as well. Next, let's get into the cost and funding. So I'm going to assume most people here are domestic students, and the program for total yearly is $20.5K roughly, totaling to around $41,000. For international students, it's around $56.5 thousand. Remember, the internship is paid, and which I'll get into the pay structure a bit later, so that can cover a bit of your costs. And additionally, you can also get OSAP, so where you can get grants or loans that can also cover some of the tuition. Now I will talk about the courses. As I mentioned earlier, there is a huge variety in the courses you're going to take in terms of the science and the business components. So the summer is structured with heavy lab component for 2 months, and this is when you're going to be put into groups and you're going to be in the lab in a molecular bio lab scenario from almost 9 to 5 every day. Then you're going to do a mix of courses, and they're changing this every year. So this year they added a course on Linux, for example, a little bit of coding involved, and telling us about the software component in the drug development and how you can simulate drug binding to other drugs or drugs binding to receptors. And then there are more of the businessy courses, like the accounting managerial course that I'm taking right now, and additionally a marketing course, along with market access, telling you how reimbursements happen, how the approval process goes through, and how the clinical trial process works as well. Now I will get into the internship. So the internship, as I mentioned, is a 1-year portion of your degree. And the beauty of the internship is it's essentially via this program, you have a gateway into the industry, into the pharmaceutical industry, or even the digital health industry. And they will put you in it. You are going to get an internship no matter what. The question is it going to be the one that you're interested in? And you'll have plenty of time to figure this out. This summer, it's not just courses. They're also going to give you a variety of events and workshops and tell you about these industrial experiences and what potential co-ops lie ahead of you. They'll teach you how to write your resume, because for this internship, you still have to apply. How they structure it is they give you a portal with a variety of jobs posted, and you apply to as many as you want based on your interests. And from there on out, you get placed in one, you get matched. There's a rank and match process, and then you do your internship for a year. Now, there's a tendency that from that internship, many MBiotech students get retained by the company and continue to work full-time right after graduation. So that's why this program is so loved, because it's the gateway into the industry, and then you tend to get jobs right after. And additionally, the status from this degree is that there's so many MBiotech graduates already in the industry itself. It's almost kind of like a cult. So there's tons of connections and resources available to help you move horizontally or vertically. Now, as for the partners, you can see there's a huge list of partners that are affiliated with MBiotech, from AbbVie, AstraZeneca, Roche, Eli Lilly, all maybe names that you've heard of. And you have the opportunity to work with one of them for a year. Same with the digital health stream. There's those companies. And there's an even larger set of roles available. So whatever your interest lies, you'll find something that you'll truly enjoy. And the way the internship matching process works is you'll apply to a whole bunch of jobs, and you might not get offers from all of them. However, what they'll do is you'll end up getting the internship role that is the best suited for you, that is the most matched and appropriate for you. So no matter what, don't stress too much about that when you get there. And I might do another video on the internship application process in depth. However, that's the relative timeline. So right now, I just got matched with my internship. I'll be working at a Roche for clinical operations starting in January. And super excited to just continue step my foot in the industry and see where it goes. So overall, that is the general structure of the program, and I hope this video gives you some insights on what this program will provide. And it's really ideal for students that aren't necessarily interested in working in labs anymore, although there are laboratory roles in the internships. However, it's for those that want to work in a more industrial corporate setting in the pharmaceutical world or digital health world, even giving rise to like startups or consulting groups. Now, for personal tips and advice, I'm gonna get into for the application process. There are certain things that MBiotech looks for, and you should definitely highlight in your application package, which I will do in another video. And if you're thinking of applying, make sure you check back in with the prerequisites and all that that I mentioned before. And I'll even put the links on where all this information can be found in further detail. I just wanted to make a video to bring it all together so you don't have to go looking hunting around. And I hope you guys enjoyed it and maybe even have a new option for your future if you weren't sure what to do beforehand. So thank you guys for watching, sticking around for these 15 minutes, and I'll see you guys in another video where I'll hopefully give you some tips and tricks to ace your application and interviews. Thanks for watching.